This video is about AI. I'm not a fan. And if you hang in there with me after the montage at the beginning, I'll explain why. I had something on my mind, and usually when I have something on my mind, I feel like that's the best time to talk about it. So I want to talk about AI and how, personally, I feel like AI is like going to be the end of us. And I literally feel that way. Like, I don't know. You know, I just kind of feel like I'm a writer, right? Like I'm a playwright. I'm a performing artist. I do a lot of things, but I'm a writer at the core of me. I write music, I write poetry, I write scripts all the time. I'm constantly writing. Like I literally write every day of my life. And I just got to tell you that no app will ever write one word for me, ever. Not a title, not a description, not a script, not a line of dialogue, not an email to somebody, never. No AI app, no chat GPT or whatever it's called is going to write anything for me. And why would you want something, you know, some technology to write something for you? Like that's, like I'm not going to answer one of your comments on my YouTube channel with some pre-provided, you know, message from YouTube that's some kind of AI generated thing that thinks it knows me better than I know myself. I'm not doing that. And plus, like, I am astounded when I see a video and somebody who writes screenplays or writes plays or whatever is like, yo, this AI is amazing. Like I said, you know, write me a story about three girls who grow up together in White Plains, New York, you know, a coming of age story and one of them gets cancer and it's the story of the three of them dealing with the end of one of their lives, you know, like, and then, you know, I need a script about 68 pages and all of a sudden you got a script. And you know, there's people on YouTube going, and it was amazing, it was so good. And so then I just get to make the movie. And I'm just like, really? That's what we've come down to. Like, you want technology to be your creativity. Like, you want it to kind of get to know you in some sort of way. And then you want to take writing out of the equation. You want to take the creation of your storytelling out of the equation. You don't want to make the stuff up yourself. You don't, like, writing is where I spend most of my time. I literally write every day. And I think it's the most fun for me. It's also the hardest, definitely. It's definitely the part that makes you struggle the most, that makes you just, you know, lose your mind sometimes. It like makes you question everything about yourself, your creativity, your intelligence, your empathy. It makes you question everything, but that's the whole point. That's what makes you a better artist. That's what makes you a better person. I mean, are we losing our humanity? Are we losing, you know, the uniqueness of ourselves, or is an app, a technological invention, taking over for our soul, our spirit? Like, do you really think that, do you really trust that this app is always going to come up with something that you wanted it to come up with? Or do you trust that it's going to do better than you? You're okay with that? I got to tell you, no app is ever going to write anything better than I could write myself. There's no way, you know? And it's never going to answer a question better than I would answer it myself. I mean, it would be easier. You know, yeah, I don't have to do anything, you know? I just kind of take myself out of the equation. But I mean, nah, like that, you know, I believe that this is the end of us. You know, I do. And how about, like, are you really okay with these, you know, videos of like LeBron James saying something, but it's not really him? They just created his voice and they move his lips in this video to make it look like he's saying it. And it's so amazing and so good that you really have to like stop for a second and go, is that LeBron James? Is that Denzel Washington? You know, is that Oprah? Is that the President of the United States? Like, you're okay with that? I'm not okay with that. That's crazy to me. I mean, I never want anybody to do that to me, but I guess, you know, like somebody said to me recently, you're out there already. Like, people are using your voice and your face, and because there's a million videos of me all over the internet. But I'm not cool with that. And, you know, trust me, you know, I will never, if I'm conscious of it, if I'm aware, I will never allow AI to do anything for me. Perform for me, write for me, answer questions for me, figure things out for me. Never, never. You know, if I have, you know, everybody's always suggesting to me that I, you know, do things that are more searchable on YouTube. And, you know, like I get a lot of really good advice about my YouTube channel. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, just use ChatGPT, just, you know, do that searchable thing and just figure out what people are searching for. No, I'm not doing that. You know, I don't mind going through the learning process. I don't mind failing, you know, because I never consider myself a failure. You know, I'm good with failing, you know, in the moment. I'm good with not accomplishing something. I'm good with not being good for a while. But I'm also good with improving, with doing it on my own, with learning on my own. Like, I guess this just means I'm old, you know? Like, I'll never get used to that. And I actually feel sorry for, you know, this generation coming up now that's going to rely upon AI to suck every bit of creativity out of their bodies. Like, you know, creativity is a muscle. You know, writing is a muscle. You know, using your brain, using your heart, listening, watching, learning. These are things that you have to commit to in your life. And if you want AI to do that for you, you're going to die inside a little bit. Like, we're going to evolve into something else. You know, we're going to be less human. We're going to be more machines, you know, more AI. Like, everything's going to be like really kind of, you know, You're going to be able to predict everything. You know, everybody's going to just be predictable. You know, after a while, AI is going to be like, this is who you are, and that's it. You know, and it will be like a revolutionary act to step out of your AI profile and say something or respond in a way that's kind of out of character for you. And AI then might correct you and go, no, that's not you. Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't write that. That's not the kind of art that you make. That's not the kind of music that you create. That's not a play that you would ever write. You know, you made that film? Nah, that's not you. Mm-mm. Here's what you do. Here's what you are. This is who you are. Do not ever change. That's where I think AI is bringing us and taking us, you know. I mean, look, if you like AI, totally cool. I'm certainly not judging anybody, but I'm speaking for myself. I will never use it. And I just thought it would be valuable to share this perspective. And, you know, I'm not going to mention any names, but I see a lot of filmmakers who I really respect and admire and who I've learned so much from, talking about AI all the time, how awesome it is, how helpful it's been for them. For interviews, things like that, coming up with questions, you know, doing documentaries. I ain't doing that, you know. And maybe that'll keep me from getting work. Maybe that'll, you know, when people know this about me, they'll be like, you know, he just wants to do things the hard way. You know, he wants to come up with stuff himself. God forbid, you know. You know, something about me throughout my entire creative career, from the music business to theater to film, everything, I've always done things my way. I've never tried to follow the trend or, you know, go after what's popular or what, you know, is making people famous or, you know, what's like number one at the moment. You know, I've never been that derivative-driven artist. As a matter of fact, I once got a letter from Warner Brothers Records saying, sorry, but this is just too musical. You know, and you know, actually the A&R person said to me, these songs are like so you, like we can't even imagine anybody else doing them. And I'm like, well, nobody else is going to be doing them. If you sign me, I'm going to be doing them. And they're like, yeah, but everybody kind of sounds like somebody else. That's not true. And you know, I have to go back to an era that is maybe too far for a lot of people watching this, but when you go back to like the era of Queen or, you know, Al Green or Earth, Wind and Fire or Stevie Wonder or, you know, bands like that, you know, artists like Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Bob Dylan, you know, people like that, you know, Prince. You can't compare any of those artists to anybody else. You just can't, you know. Even in the genre of R&B, which I kind of came up in, where a lot of people sound exactly like Stevie Wonder for the last 25 years, at one time, R&B music was, every singer was completely different. Luther Vandross didn't sound anything like James Ingram. James Ingram didn't sound anything like Peabo Bryson. Chaka Khan didn't sound anything like Patti LaBelle. Stevie Wonder was the only one. And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to be Stevie Wonder. You know, Prince, who compares to Prince? Nobody, you know. Who's like Bruce Springsteen? Nobody. Why are they great artists, you know? When you see a Spike Lee film, that can only be a Spike Lee film, you know? Jim Jarmusch, like that can only be a Jarmusch film. You know, they kind of stamp themselves on it. And I think that's really magical for me and important, you know? Hemingway had a real style when you read Hemingway, you know? I mean, that's what I aspire to. I aspire to be the best version of me, which is endless, you know, it never ends, you know? Like I'm never gonna get to the best of me. I'm gonna die first, because that's just the way I look at it. You know, like I do stuff and then I'm on to the next thing. And I'm always accumulating with everything that I've done before. That's what I am now. You know, like at the end of one of my plays, I'm talking to my biological mother and I'm kind of telling her who I am. And I say, you know what? I am every person that I've ever met in every place that I've ever been. That's how I look at my life. You know, I'm just accumulating things, you know, and then I'm new again and I'm new again, but I am you know, like absolutely uniquely me, you know, like you can absolutely know that that's rock in everything that I do. And I think anybody who knows me, knows my work, would agree with that. Like I don't do anything like anybody else because I'm not trying to be like anybody else, you know. I'm not trying to be trendy. I'm not trying to be popular just for the sake of being popular. I mean, of course, I want everybody in the world to enjoy my work. I want I want to sell out every ticket when I do shows. I want 1 billion people to watch my movies. I want everybody to buy my music and love it. That's what I want. But I also know that's not what drives me. You know what I mean? I don't think about that when I create. I don't ever think of you when I create. I don't think of the audience. I only create when something is just dying to come out of me, that I'm completely compelled to make a story. Like I have to do it. Because I feel like we're all so human that if I'm honest about that, and if I, am revealing myself and being intimate and being open, that many people are going to relate to what I'm saying and what I'm sharing. It's going to resonate with you. Because, I feel like everything that I feel is kind of universal. Like I say this all the time, but it's true. I remind myself every day, it ain't all about you. I'm not here on this earth by myself, and we all affect one another, whether you believe that or not. Everything that you do has an effect on me, and everything that I do has an effect on you. That's why it's important to strive to be a good person, to be a good human being, a sensitive, giving, generous, empathetic human being, because we are all connected. Everything that you do, everything that you encounter, it's got something to do with somebody else. It does. We all live on this planet together, and it's kind of a small world, and it's getting smaller all the time. And so AI takes so much of that out of the equation, because I think what's most beautiful about us and this whole existence is the uniqueness of all of us, the diversity, how we come from different places, we come from different cultures, and as much as we're all the same and that we want the same things, like obviously, like I said in the last video, we want to be safe, we want to be loved, all of that, we're also completely different. Like for example, when people say, they're colorblind, that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, you're not colorblind. You can tell when somebody's black, or somebody's Asian, or somebody's a woman, or somebody's trans, or like a drag queen. Like, you don't see that. You don't see a black person is different than you if you're white. Of course you do, but it doesn't mean you can't celebrate it. And we're all influenced by one another. If you stay open, and if you always go from a place of love, then you can accept these influences, and you can accept the fact that you influence others. And that's what's beautiful about us. And then when you put all that together, and you put all these outside things inside of your body, and then you draw and call on all of that to create, if you're lucky enough to be an artist, if you're magical enough to be an artist, what comes out of you is something so beautiful, but so unique that nobody else can do it. But if you let AI get in here, again, I'm not judging you. If you want to do it, that's cool. And if it's the way things are now, that's fine. But not for me. I feel like if I let AI come in here and write anything for me, that's so antithetical to everything I believe in. It's not what I ain't about that at all. AI will never write a word for me. I'll say it again, not a title, not a description, none of that. It's not going to happen. Now, I don't mind doing research and trying to figure out what people are searching for on YouTube, and then if I find something that resonates with me, I can make a video on that if I feel like I have something to offer. I'm not going to do it just to do it. But if I feel like I have something unique to offer from my perspective, of course I'll do that. Of course I want to be successful. Of course I want to go viral. Of course I want to make money on YouTube. But I'm not giving up my humanity for anything. I'm not giving up my uniqueness. I am not allowing technology to take over from my soul. I'm not doing that. I will never do that. I don't think anybody should do that. And if you do, I think you should really think about that. But again, if you do, I understand I'm not young. I'm not of this youthful era, and so if that's what it is, I don't know, maybe they'll figure out how to make that unique. Maybe they'll pull back on it, but I only see it increasing. I see what's happening around me. AI is the way things are going, like it's taking over people's jobs. You don't need to have a person driving a car or flying a plane anymore, or, you don't have to go to a checkout person at the supermarket, or you don't have to do anything. Like what is the point? Are we just trying to put everybody out of work? Are we just trying to have everybody stay home and not interact with one another? Just going to be on social media, on our phones all the time? Are we not going to be able to deal with one another in person anymore? I don't get it. I don't get the advantage of AI, you know. Maybe AI is good when they build these, you know, robots that can do surgeries that a human being could not possibly do. That would make it easier on somebody getting a transplant or open heart surgery or something like that. If that's even AI, I don't know. I do believe in technology. I do believe in the adventure of space travel and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I guess for me, the line is creativity and humanity. Like when you want to write for me, when you want to think for me, when you want to feel for me, tell me how to feel, tell me how to express myself, tell me how to respond, tell me how to receive somebody's message and how to come back and answer that. Nah, I'm not interested in that at all. And I'm certainly not interested in any technology creating a story for me. It'll never happen. I will resist that to the end, you know. And if that stops me from, you know, being successful in this world right now, okay, I guess I'm one of the ones that's going to be cast aside, you know. But, you know, I'm always going to believe in playing my own instruments, you know, and creating my own stories and saying my own words and being who I am in a video and not having anybody else fix my mouth and use my voice. No, I'm not. I ain't with it, you know, and I'll never knowingly allow anybody else to use my likeness, my voice, my mind, my heart. I will never knowingly allow that ever. Ever. Never. Not even one time. I just won't do it. I don't believe in it. I don't want it. It sounds gross to me. I'm just not interested in that. So, AI. Nah, you got to show me something better than this. You know, like to me, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to kill me. You're trying to destroy me. You're trying to take the very part of me that I feel is the essence of me, the most important part of me. You're trying to take that from me and just make me sit down and go, oh yeah, that's just like me. It'll never be like me. You will never be able to create anything that is even remotely like me for real. You won't be able to do that because I won't allow it. And you know what? No matter what happens, I'm going to continue to write every day. I'm going to continue to create stories from my heart, my soul, my spirit. I'm going to continue to open myself up to you and be vulnerable and be intimate. And perhaps that's when AI is going to grab me and create other me's in other places. But I don't care. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm not going to get caught up in it. I'm just going to, you know, keep trying to grow as a human being for as long as I'm here. And not buy into this kind of stuff because it's scary to me. Yeah, it's threatening to me. I don't like it. I don't.